Eden Zero Chapter 196 is out, and I have to say, this chapter is making me very concerned for the well-being of our characters, as it is seemingly going into a darker place than I initially hoped, and the possibilities that things are going wrong, seems like things are actually going wrong. We get Sister versus Clown in this chapter. We cut back to Shiki and they find Rebecca. We get to see how things go on with Homura's battle with Brigand, and the aftermath of Hermit versus Killer, as well as the reveal of what Ziggy is after by having the Dark Stars invade the Eden Zero itself. Now before we get into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really does help, and it shows you guys want to see more Eden Zero on the channel, and I look forward to making more Eden Zero content for you guys, as I am really loving this series and I am really loving making content for you. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you want to see what else I'm talking about, me interacting with other creators or people on the site, and seeing my general thoughts and opinions on other things in the world and in my daily life. Now with that out of the way, let's hit that intro and start this review. Eden Zero Chapter 196, 4 Shining Stars Annihilated. Now, if you can tell from this cover image, this is not the official, quote-unquote, official translation that is up on Azuki that I have been using for every single review and video for all the videos on my channel. This is a fan translation done by the folks over at Sorcerer Weekly, and it is up on Manga Dex right now if you guys want to read it. The official chapter won't be out until next Monday, a day before Chapter 197's official release, as there was a licensing dispute between Kodansha and Azuki and I believe other platforms that were that had this chapter. And now that that's out of the way, I don't know the full details, but now we're getting the official release of this chapter on Monday, June 27th, and then we will get June 28th, Chapter 197. So 2 back-to-back chapters day after day, but since this chapter was translated by some fans, I figured I might as well give you guys this chapter this week, and then give you 197 with the official translation next week. But anyway, we got a nice cover page of a live stream from Rebecca's Aoneko channel, and this is with how Rebecca's drawn and how everything looks. It's possible Mashima is referencing VTubers with this. Seeing as how BCubers are kind of references to YouTubers, it wouldn't be that much of a surprise if Mashima did this just to reference the fact that VTubers have gotten so big over the last few years. I could be misinterpreting this, but I think this is a possibility. I figured I should mention that, see what's going on. It's just something that came to mind. But anyway, on to the chapter. We cut from the end of the previous chapter after Hermit managed to land a fight-ending blow against Killer. Killer is wondering what's going on, as his CPU performance is supposed to be higher than Hermit. He's supposed to be superior. Hermit states that technically he's right in terms of performance, but since they're inside the Eden Zero, Hermit was able to link the ship's processing power to herself through their network, thus boosting it and allowing her to overcome everything that Killer had to offer and outperforming him in that instance, thus allowing her to take him down. Killer understands the situation and what Hermit is saying and says, "Let's call this a draw," as he then self-destructs. But as it seems like, why would he self-destruct? We see something is pulsing and trying to infect Hermit, as apparently Killer is trying to get inside her. Computing systems, do not think something else. Get your head out of your ass. Get your mind out of the gutter, people. Okay, that was a bad joke, but I just felt like I should do that. Anyway, so with Hermit seemingly being in a ton of pain from this infection, we hear Killer's voice. He's not just going to kill her. Hermit's not just going to die. His mission right now is to destroy her heart. What this could mean, I have no idea, but perhaps he's going to do something to erase Hermit's whole personality and experiences, infect her, similar to what he initially wanted to do in the last chapter, and kind of infect her with a virus to turn over to their side, or trying to completely make her suffer and lose all hope, and thus killing her in the instance, as maybe he's giving her like a broken heart or erasing her whole personality or something like that. I don't know, but it's obvious that this virus that Killer is using is meant to make Hermit suffer and kill her. We then cut back to Shiki and Wise's group as they're looking for Rebecca. They manage to spot her, as where she is being held captive is a part of this subspace dimension that Killer created that is fully collapsing in on itself, and Rebecca is being slowly drawn and devoured inside some type of, what I can only assume is dark ether chains, and she's being pulled into the darkness. Shiki runs out and tries to grab her. As it seems that she's about to be sucked in completely, Shiki uses his ether gear to make Rebecca fall towards him, freeing her from her shackles and saving her. As he says everything is alright, Wise now uses his programming skills to fully cancel the subspace dimension that Killer created, freeing them from that whole nightmare and bring them back into the Coliseum that they were originally in. We see that the Coliseum was still very destroyed, but there's a lot of dust clouds everywhere. Happy goes up and hugs Rebecca, and Rebecca apologizes for making everybody worry. Shiki states that everything is fine, don't worry about it, but they have to focus on something more important right now. As he mentions, they don't see Homura. He was supposed to be fighting Brigand. As we see in the distance, in a dust cloud, Brigand's silhouette, everyone looks in that direction, and we look towards a pillar where someone is collapsed down into it. Rebecca and Shiki are in disbelief as we cut to see that it is Homura smashed into this column, seemingly unconscious or dead. She was beaten by Brigand. Shiki notices Brigand walking away. As he states, she was a valiant warrior, as Shiki cries out for Homura. Now this fight happened off screen, so it's very possible that Homura can get back up, but I don't know if she's dead. I feel like with someone like Homura, one of the main cast members, everyone else got an actual fight. We just caught like one or two glimpses of their battle and not much going on. So for this battle to happen off screen, it's very possible that she's going to get back up. We haven't seen her go into overdrive against Brigand, so until she brings that out, I'm not counting this fight as a loss full on just yet in terms of Homura dying. But then again, this chapter is called The Four Shining Stars Annihilated. So far, it looks like it's trying to live up to its name. We cut back to the Bath of Edens, with Sister facing off against Clown. As Clown, facing off against her, tries to propose her some sort of philosophical question, asking her what it means for machines to be alive, what does a death mean for machines. Sister is kind of thinking that he's not making much sense right now and he's just making stuff up, but he begins to ask, what does it mean for us to die? Is it a system failure? Is it total loss? As he states, it's neither. They die when they can't execute even a single command, making them lower than human garbage. As he lunges forward to attack Sister, but she then uses her ether whip to try and land an attack after dodging. She throws a barrage of whip slashes to try and hit Clown as he dodges and weaves around, landing a punch on her. But once he does that, Sister wraps his hand around with her ether whip and then throws him to the side. Clown slowly gets back up in a very obviously kind of menacing and creepy panel. I cannot say this enough how much I do not like clowns. But then Sister asks the important question. What is the command that Ziggy gave them? And Clown answers, the elimination of the four shining stars. Sister states that it looks like they screwed up on that part. But Clown wonders if she's actually right. As he states that Witch has been destroyed. She is no more. Due to the end of the Aoi War, she's dead. Hermit is contaminated by Killer, and in that panel we see that the virus seemingly progressing way further than before and a lot faster. And Clown says that Homura is dead, shocking Sister as she just can't believe what he's saying. As Clown states that Sister is the last one of them standing. Sister is trying to just write all this off as him making stuff up, but then Clown goes into his overclock state and says not to worry. She'll be meeting her death very soon. As then a giant beast creature appears behind her, shocking Sister as she didn't even notice this thing appeared. How this thing appeared, it's possible it's Clown's very own ether powers or ether gear if he does have one, and this is some sort of illusion or an extension of his own abilities. As he states, it's time for a wild beast show. As this creature then chomps down and slams Sister into the ground, seemingly defeating her. As Clown then states, it's time to open it. The thing that Ziggy wants from them behind the doors. Code 3173, aka Etherion. And that ends the chapter. So, Etherion is something that has been alluded to since we got the Eden Zero and Homura became part of the Shining Stars. We don't know what Etherion is, but it's stated to be some sort of weapon. And it's best to have all four Shining Stars in order to open it, but it doesn't really require the four Shining Stars from what I can remember. But Clown states that the main reason why they came onto the ship, well, yes, they were tasked with destroying the shining stars. That was essentially what they were created to do. Right now, his mission, as of this moment, is to unlock the Etherion and bring it to Ziggy, or have Ziggy gain control of it. Which means this has something to do with Ziggy's overall plan to find Mother. And for them to go out of their way to try and get Etherion from the Eden Zero, it means that the Eden's One does not have their own version of Etherion. If that is the case, or perhaps they both have a version of Etherion and they need both together to fully use their power, or something like that. My friend Shonen OG actually made a really cool Eden Zero theory video about Etherion, and it's looking that now with the Dark Stars on the Eden Zero trying to get it, it seems like his theory might be very plausible, and it's starting potentially to come true, so I'll leave a link to that in the title card up above. But as for what's going on with the defeat of the Shining Stars, it does seem like things are going in Ziggy's favor. Wizard was defeated by Shiki, obviously, so that's one guy down. Killer might have been defeated by Hermit, but it is technically a draw, as he's kind of going for mutually assured destruction with this virus, trying to overwhelm and destroy Hermit from the inside. And Homura has seemingly been killed by Brigand. Now, as I stated, Homura could still get back up, and the Eden Zero crew could potentially win. What I'm going for is, here's my theory real quick before I end off this video. Sister has not been defeated, and she's going to unleash her overdrive to overcome Clown. Hermit is going to find some way to undo the virus, or Sister will be able to, like, heal Hermit from this virus. Or even Wise will be able to get back onto the Eden Zero and help Hermit. Homura is going to get back up. Her fight was completely off screen, so I do see her getting a round 2 against Brigand, and using her overdrive. Shiki is still going to head towards Ziggy, and Dead End Crow is still going to be battling against Holy, Clean, Jin, and Laguna. And then Akinoella is going to be faced against Justice, and I assume Elsie is going to break free somehow, so that's a high possibility. The matchups are seemingly set, and with how this chapter ended, it does seem like the Shining Stars are being defeated. One is already dead from the previous war arc, and now it seems like the final 2 of the original Shining Stars are going to be defeated. Now I do like the idea of the human characters on the Eden Zero, you know, overcoming Ziggy and the Dark Stars, but I do really think that the Shining Stars should not die in this arc. We can't have multiple characters dying in quick succession, especially after this time skip where they've gotten a lot stronger. The final possibility is that things go badly for everyone, and Rebecca has no choice but to use a cat leap to go all the way back to the beginning of their assault and plan ahead of this. Now, we haven't seen Rebecca do a cat leap of that magnitude since Beliogoer, when she first truly awakened to her time-traveling, time-leaping powers. So this is probably the direction Mashima is going for, as we've been wondering when Rebecca is going to use her cat leap powers again, and throughout this whole arc, she has not used her ability to go back 2 minutes. Since the Aoi War, we have not seen her in the time skip use her caliber abilities to go back in time. And she has unlocked overdrive, so we'd assume she has more control over her time-limiting abilities. So I feel like Mashima's saving Rebecca for some big thing. Plus, if Rebecca time leaps on Lendard, then the chronophage will appear a lot sooner and be drawn to Lendard very quickly, and thus Operation Planet Eater will succeed. But that would be too easy. Honestly, I can't fully predict what's going on for the next chapter, but those are just my thoughts and opinions. Sorry if this video ended up being a bit longer than it should have. I had a lot of stuff to think about for this chapter and talk about with you guys. I'm going to try and do some more Eden Zero content outside of chapter reviews as we go forward. But until then, leave your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments, as well as like and subscribe to the channel if you want more Eden Zero content. The more you interact with these videos, whether it be liking or commenting, really shows that you guys want to see more Eden Zero on the channel, and I really do want to talk about it more. Also, if you want to support the channel more directly, don't forget to check out my Patreon and my Ko-Fi accounts in the title card and in the description below, so I can make more videos outside of chapter reviews a lot quicker and at very good quality. And with all that said and done, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hope you all have an awesome day.